Hi, I'm Sarah Weber, the Brain Cleanup Coach, and welcome to your 10-minute Mind Fix meditation on have to versus choose to. And I love this subject. I love thinking about this because so often in life we feel like we have to do something. We've been taught all these definitions of being a successful human or what entails being a successful human. And so we feel a lot of pressure to do certain things in our lives that we think is then going to let the outside world know that we're doing it right, that we're worth it, that we belong, that we should be accepted. But in reality, there are only a few have-tos that a human has to do in order to survive. If you look at nature and what animals have to do, they have to eat and drink, and they have to have some sort of protection, right? So a wild animal has dense fur, it has fat on its body, it has these things to help protect it from cold. Perhaps it has a den, some sort of shelter, right? And we humans also have these needs. We need some shelter, we need to protect ourselves from the elements, we need to eat, we need to drink. We also know that we do need some companionship as animals do. They travel in herds and packs. Not many animals are creatures of isolation. But that's kind of it as far as staying alive. And then everything else that we've brought into the experience of humanity is because of our self-awareness and creativity. But it's very easy for us to buy into the notion that we have to do something in order to belong, in order to be part of this tribe that we call humanity. But in actuality, we choose to do all of these things. Now, yes, if we decide that we are no longer going to say make money as normal, that we're going to try to live off of trade or go hunt our own food, society's going to think we're a little odd, right? Because we expect each and every one of us to just kind of march along with the rest of us and assimilate into how we live. But that actually is a choice. It's the comfortable choice. It's the choice we've been taught, and so we do it the best. We do it well. But it's not what we have to do. And so if I get into a space where I'm feeling constricted by something, that I feel like I have to do it, I remind myself that it's actually a choice, and every choice has consequences. And yes, if I make a choice that is outside of the normal bubble that people think we should live in, then there will be consequences, but I still have the choice. And I can make the choice that I want to. That is what human freedom is about. So let's go ahead and do a quick meditation. And we're just going to think about these choices that we have in our lives to make and kind of look at what we've been taught. And is there wiggle room? Is there a different way to think about it? And can we stop feeling wrong for making a choice that maybe is a little different than the norm? So let's get started. Go ahead and make sure that you're sitting comfortably, or you may be lying on the ground, that's fine. And we're going to start by taking just a few deep breaths in through your nose. You're going to breathe out through your mouth. And go ahead and just take little pauses. At the top of the in-breath, just pause for 2 or 3 seconds. And then you can let that air release. And I like to pause at the bottom of my out-breath as well. I kind of think of the ocean and the tides when I do this. How when the waves crash on the shore, they crash and then there's that like quiet receding that happens. There's still movement, but it kind of feels like a pause as you're waiting for the next wave to break. And so that's kind of how I look at these pauses in breathing. So let's go ahead. We're going to do 3 deep breaths. Keep your eyes open for this. Go ahead and begin. Pause at the top. Pause. Last out breath. Go ahead and let your eyes close as you release this breath. And let your focus find your breath. Go ahead and just pay attention to the movement that's created by your breath. Now, as far as breathing goes, this is actually another thing that we have to do. We don't really have a choice in this one. We can choose to hold our breath for a while. We can choose to change the cadence of our breathing. But we have to breathe. Oxygen is required for us to stay alive. As far as your choice in this moment, if you are doing this meditation and your eyes are closed, you're focusing on your breath, yet you're hearing the words I say, you are making a choice. You can choose to stop at any time. You can get up and walk away. You can choose to open your eyes. You can choose to keep them shut. So many moments in our lives are dictated by choice, but we forget that. We think that we have no choice and that we have to do what we're doing. And often to keep your life the same, yes, you do have to do. You have to continue to make the same choices. And it's fear of consequence that will keep us stuck and feeling like we have to do something rather than choosing to do something. But all consequences is change. And the more open-minded you can become to change, the less weighty those consequences will feel in your mind. Change is always inevitable. It's going to happen whether we want it to or not. But we do have the creative power to try and forge paths, to try and control things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with trying to make something different or trying to keep it the same. There is always choice involved. Choice creates consequence. Consequence creates change. And we can just let that be. I invite you to take a deep breath in. Exhale and open your eyes. And I thank you for joining me in this 10-minute mind fixed meditation. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.